Jesus Christ, no, I'm too close to the edge. Ah.
Let's sing a song.
No. I am sitting where Jim Clark sat.
Going in hard and hard. We're fleeing.
Okay, flee. Well, they'll be using a pistol, won't they?
Hurry on! Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. Now, coming up in this week's show, a supercar is dismantled for no reason. A man with no shirt on. And my whole tongue is wrapped up in intestine.
My whole tongue is wrapped up in intestine.
Those are the highlights. Those are the best bits. They really are. Anyway, over here in the West, we tend to think that at £360,000, a Rolls-Royce Phantom is quite expensive. But this week, the Grand Tour is focusing mostly on China. And over there, things are a bit different. As recently as the 1980s, people here would lie awake at night, dreaming of having enough money to buy a mule. Whereas now, just 30 years later, they dream of being able to buy a honky. Specifically this honky, the L5. In Chinese, honky means the red flag, the symbol of communism. But there's nothing at all communistical about this monster's price tag, which is £880,000. The interior is an exquisite work of art, with rosewood panelling and cream leather. The dashboard and centre console are fully digital. There's jade in the door handles and gold and sunflowers everywhere else. Despite its villainous presence, though, the price is mad. So I called May and Hammond, and we came up with an idea.
If you are a Chinese businessman or businesswoman and you want a car that reflects your status, you don't need to spend £880,000. You can simply pop over to Europe and buy a Mercedes S-Class like this one. And even though this is the 6-litre V12, it costs me just £8,800. In other words, you could have 100 of these for the price of a honky. At this point, my colleague Richard Hammond arrived in something or other. What is that?
This is a Cadillac STS, and you can shut up.
I wasn't going to say anything. We were then interrupted by the arrival of Clarkson in a BMW. Ooh, I see you've bought the long car.
Yours is long as well.
Are you two been from the 1970s?
No, they're long wheelbase. 5.4-litre V12.
It's appearing before your eyes.
How can a German car go? Are you sure it's a real one?
Was it parked in the sea when you bought it?
Let's not get bogged down with the oxidisation of my car. Because a lot of Chinese people, as we know, come to Europe these days. If Chinese people are going to come to the UK and buy Western soap and Western frocks, why would they not buy Western cars when they're there?
Yeah, because you can't buy these cars second-hand over here.
No, they're not. This vintage isn't available here.
No.
And what we're saying is you can buy one of these for a lot less than a luxury honky. A lot less.
And that's what we're here to prove, people of China.
Eventually, we arrived at the location for our first test. It's one of 78 centres around Chongqing where teenagers can learn to drive away from the traffic. To us, however, it looked like a racetrack, which made it perfect for an ingenious handling test that I just thought of. Now, to do this, we're going to use drones like this one, which have been fitted with flamethrowers. They actually use these in China for clearing litter that's got stuck on overhead power cables.
Right, so how are we going to use airborne flamethrowers like this to test the power and agility of our cars?
Good question. Each of our cars has, as you can see, been fitted with 3 chains of firecrackers. One on the bonnet, one on the roof, one on the boot lid, OK? So you drive round a special course here while you're attacked by the airborne flamethrowers. And then you score a point when you've finished for every one of the targets that haven't gone off.
Go! Oh, for God's sake. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, I'm slightly alarmed.
Point when you've finished for every one of the targets that haven't gone off.
We're off. Right, we're all set. Come on, this is it. Oh, God.
When you've finished for every one of the targets that haven't gone off.
Go, go.
for God's sake. Now, this bit is really scary. Try it now.
Point when you've finished for every one of the targets that hasn't gone off.
Go! Keep going! Oh my God! Oh dear God! Oh no! Oh my God! Come on! Keep going! Oh my God! Oh, for God's sake! Are you ready? Ah! Fire from the sky! Ah! Ah!
There's the drone on my left, the first one. No. Oh, God, that looks tricky. No! Oh,
God, stroke. Oh.
fire everywhere! Oh, God!
Bandit at 10 o'clock.
That'll have alarmed him.
It will have alarmed him, Sam, yeah.
You know dogs don't like fireworks.
No, they hate it.
Full throttle.
Forward.
Hey. Concentrate, look through the bend. This is quite a complicated one.
That was such a good laugh. Waltzing around with airborne flamethrowers. Really good afternoon, that was.
Yes.
What?
Hang on.
Yeah.
That was a totally useless test.
We had a call the other day from a Chinese car manufacturer called NIO, and they said, we have built a blisteringly fast, all-electric supercar, and would one of you like to try it out?
Yeah, now, after his escapade going up a Swiss hill in a blisteringly fast all-electric supercar, Richard Hammond said that he really didn't think he was the man for the job. However, it turned out that the car was only available for one day, and unfortunately on that day I had the boiler man coming round.
Yep. And I had a dental appointment?
Dentist.
Dental appointment, yeah.
Yep, so guess what? Here it is. It's called the EP9. And it's pretty clear that this is no Nissan Leaf. Because a Leaf doesn't have giant head restraints to stop G-forces from snapping your neck during hard cornering. And that's just the start. What I have here is a comparison between this Neo EP9 and the Rimac Concept 1, in which I had my little tumble down a Swiss mountainside. So, in the Rimac Concept 1, power 1,207 brake horsepower. In this Neo, 1,341 brake horsepower. Power to weight in the Rimac is 652 brake horsepower per tonne. In this Neo, 773 brake horsepower per tonne. Oh, good. So, no pressure then. Right, the high voltage system is active. So here goes. To launch it, it's got to be in drive. Left foot on brake, right foot mash the throttle, right hand hold that back for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come off the brake. Ah! Begin. Plenty of power, this is good. Oh no. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, for God's sake. Oh my God. Oh! It's like driving a jet engine. Something else about which I have bad memories. This is a bad place. However, there is some good news for people like me. The brakes! Whoa! That's put everything back where it should be. My eyes have come forward, my lungs are on the front again. Oh. Now, if you want to experience this phenomenal speed for yourself, you will need two things. First of all, a lot of money, because this costs £1.15 million. Secondly, a racetrack, because it works like that Ferrari FXX, where you buy the car, they deliver it to a track for you along with a support team, you drive it, crap yourself, then they take it away and hose it out for you. Since it's an electric car, you'll be wondering about range. Obviously, if you hammer it round a track, you are going to wear those batteries out pretty quickly. However, on the plus side, they only take 45 minutes to charge. on the miner's side, you have to take the batteries out to do it. And as they weigh 317 kilograms each, you won't be doing that on your own. It is a bit more of a faff than, say, a can of petrol. However, if you're an electric petrol head and you're tempted by the Neo, you might be interested to know that it's not short of pedigree. There's evidence that the people behind this thing really know what they're doing. For starters, the outfit that makes the EP9 also runs a Formula E team, one which won the inaugural championship in 2015. And until recently, the EP9 itself held a lap record around the Nürburgring, with an astonishing time of 6 minutes, 45.9 seconds. Which means it isn't just about going fast in a straight line. It has active suspension, active aerodynamics, torque vectoring, and all of that means only one thing. Grip, grippity grip! Go, go, go! Oh, here we go, here we go. Go, go, go! Gotta keep the pressure on. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, for God's sake. Oh! Jesus! It's like driving an octopus! There's no doubt that as a piece of engineering, the Neo is deeply impressive. And then slingshot! But what I love about it most is that thanks to its phenomenal grip, I could hammer it round our track all day and still be the right way up. And from me, there is no higher compliment.
Thanks for sticking me with that.
You know, it's interesting. Watching that has convinced me that I will never buy an electric car as long as I live.
Why not?
Because why on earth would I want to employ a team of men and buy a forklift every time I need to go anywhere?
Yeah, that's all very well, but a lot of people are more enlightened than you, including me, in fact. So, Hammond,
Yes.
tell me, how does it compare with the Rimac?
Yes, they are, sure. The Neo, the Neo is just more of everything. It's more power, more grip, more speed.
I have to say, that looked painfully fast, that car.
Is.
I mean,
it is
really
astonishingly fast, but it is a novelty, an amazing, powerful, fast one, but a novelty nevertheless.
And we should make it absolutely clear that you can't drive it on the road at all, can you?
No,
It's not road
no,
legal.
You can't, unlike the Rimac, which you can. That's what makes it so amazing. And there's a new Rimac coming out soon that'll have more than 1,900 horsepower.
But imagine the size of the internal combustion engine you would need to make 1,900 horsepower. It'd
be massive. That's why the future of supercars like that is electric.
It is.
What?
It is. It is.
It is.
That's the way it's going to go. It's the way it is going.
OK, then, let's find out how fast your beloved Neo goes round the Ebola drum.
Good start.
Well, so exciting are those noises.
I like the noises.
Well, you can't like those.
No, there's a whole new set of noises, you pillock.
OK.
It's the future.
OK, let's see how fast your elegantly entitled N10, no, Neo EP9
Yes.
got round, shall we? Here we go. Top 10?
Come on. There you go. Oh, yeah.
Quicker than
Oh,
an
yes.
hour.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. That is faster than the Aston Martin Vulcan.
You're absolutely right, Hammond. It is a very impressive car, and it is faster than a Vulcan. But it's slower than the petrol-powered McLaren Senna, which is road legal. So that is petrol 1,
Yes.
electricity 0.
All right, don't do that face. Don't do that face. No.
Smug face.
Not the smug face. James, just move it on quick.
Yes, in this show, we are explaining to the people of China that they don't need to waste huge sums of money on new luxury cars when they could buy something used from Europe for a lot less.
We got back on the road in our fire-damaged cars, with James still moaning about his temperature issues.
The air conditioning is now so broken that it's permanently hot even when I turn it to low and press every auto button.
I decided there was only one thing I could do about this. Ignore him. Jesus. Look at that. They're actually building another motorway with viaducts and tunnels on the other side of the valley. You got one motorway, why do you need another one over there? Still, all these motorways did mean we could prove that our cars work well as long-distance cruisers.
Go, go, go! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, yeah! Unleash the beast! Hammer! Oh, brilliant! Oh, wow, look at this! Oh, my God! Oh.
You look like a moron. Seriously?
However, in the USS Norman Schwarzkopf...
Oh, God. It's dying.
What's happened?
Loads of warnings came on, and then it lost power. I made it to this off-ramp, and now it died.
Oh, dear. Not sure my jump leads are going to get that going, are they? Oh,
No.
look. Oh,
That's
dear.
really gone bang, hasn't it?
There's oil coming out everywhere.
Do you know the number for the emergency services?
No, I don't.
Do you know how to say, my Cadillac's broken down? Do you know what junction you're at?
No.
Oh, dear.
No, neither do I. Do you?
Oh, I don't know. Come on, we've got a long way to go. Eventually, two of us arrived at the location we'd selected. It's known as the 24 Curve Road because it has 24 fun-filled curves. It was built in 1935 to ferry US military equipment to China. And it hasn't really been maintained since. So the surface is loose and potholed, and it looked like it should be a right laugh. This was actually part of the the only road that linked the then capital of China with India and Burma.
Yeah, well, before that, all the supplies that came into China had to be flown over the Himalayas, which was incredibly dangerous in the 30s. I think the Americans lost something like 400...
Sorry to interrupt. See this stupid thing?
Well, never mind that. Look what he's driving.
Why, is that Hammond?
I guess the Cadillac's definitely broken then. Nice.
Check out my Fulu.
Why have you got that?
Well, I wasn't going to let you have all the fun, was I?
No, but never mind that. Why have you got it?
Well, my telephone translation device at the toll booth worked to a degree, to this extent.
What, somebody got you a car?
Look, I got wheels, 3 of them.
Anyway, listen. Here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's a test of speed, because we are against the clock. Bear that in mind, OK?
OK.
And durability at the same time. So you've got to get up this road, which goes all the way up there, OK, as fast as possible, and keep your car in one piece in the process. Richard and I decided that James should volunteer to go first. Oh, you look exactly like a racing driver, apart from visually.
It's a racing clown.
Can we just get on with it? It's very hot in here.
Are you going with the window down or up? A lot of
Down.
stones. Down.
It's a small risk from being hit by a stone. It's a large risk of dying from suffocation.
Right. Anything else we want to say to him?
Yes,
Let's
go.
take some time and prepare mentally and really think about this. Have you visualised the course?
No.
OK.
He looks quite cross.
It does.
3, 2, 1, go.
There you go.
Away! Right then, let's go. Come on!
My turn. Right, I'm attaching the wobbly-headed symbol of capitalism here.
to bring me good fortune on this perilous test.
If you're ready.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Go. Oops. Drive carefully. Holy. Oh, God. Oops. That'll do. Oops. Look at that for a tidy line. That'll do. Drive carefully. Oops. Oh no! For God's sake. For God's sake. Oops. Oh, dearie me. Yeah.
You overdid it, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I've won that.
Well, we don't know. We haven't got your time yet.
You said your words, test of durability, and it's against the clock. Your car is broken.
It's not broken. A tyre's come off.
Broken.
Down at the start line, I was waiting for the signal to go.
Little cubby hole.
Richard Hammond.
Hello, yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, come on, I'm not right. Okay, here I go. Go! Oh my God! Oh dear! Oh God!
Did anyone... Did...
Did he just crash it?
Was that a crash, or did he just disappear behind the...
He has, look, he's gone off there. So there we are. I'm afraid that Richard Hammond's luck has finally run out, and it's with deep regret and great sadness that James and I must now announce the untimely demise of...
All right! Not again.
How does he do it?
I don't know.
Well, on that terrible disappointment, back to the tent. Smug face.
I'm okay.
Smug face.
Don't worry.
Smug because I won that.
No, you didn't.
I did. I was the fastest, and it was supposed to be a test of fun, and you moaned the entire way up the hill.
Hello?
What?
Hello? I did have quite a big crash at the end there. I just thought we could...
There's nothing particularly remarkable about that, is there? I mean, why would we...
The fact is, the reason you crashed, well, obviously your incompetence, but also because your Cadillac broke down and your Mercedes was too humid. So that means the winner is definitely, of the whole thing, the BMW 750i. What?
Actually, no. To be fair, the real winner of the whole thing was our brilliant idea to sell second-hand limos to the Chinese.
No, he's absolutely right about that, because it makes them happy and it helps us with our balance of payments.
Everybody wins.
It was a good idea.
Yes.
Except for one tiny detail. You see, this programme is shown in every single country in the world, except one.
Which one?
China. So this entire show has been a total waste of time. It's an hour of your life you'll never get back. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Next week, I'm happy to say, we're back in the groove. We're in Scotland, and I get an Alfa Romeo GTV6. Make me very happy. See you then. Take care. Good night.
Good night.
Here we go! Thank you, and welcome. And in this week's show, Locke, Scott, and two smoking Beamers. Now, thanks, everybody. Thank you. Now, I want to begin by talking about money. Bear with us on this one. You see, if you'd put £35,000 in a saving account in the year 2000, you'd now have around £60,000. However, if you'd put that same £35,000 into an E-Type Jaguar, you'd now have £100,000.
Yeah, just about everything, even remotely rare or interesting, is worth a fortune these days. Aston Martin DB5, that'll cost you £750,000. Ferrari Daytona, £600,000. A pagoda roof Mercedes SL, that'll set you back at least 75 grand now.
Yeah, it's not just exotic cars either. Ford Escort Mexico, OK? Humdrum car. That's a £60,000 thing these days. 60 grand.
It is. However, there are one or two rare and interesting cars that seem to have slipped through the net, whose prices haven't yet gone through the ceiling.
So we decided to get out there and see which of us was best at spotting that investment opportunity.
Exactly. So we each bought a classic car. And then to see which one of us had got the best deal, we took the grand tour to what one of our producers, who's Scottish, always says is the best, most beautiful place on Earth? Scotland. We chose for our meeting point a quaint fishing port near Inverness. And I was the first to arrive in an Alfa Romeo GTV6. Now, you would imagine that when one of these comes onto the market, classic car enthusiasts are running around like they're in a zombie movie and it's Black Friday. But no, I bought this from an 83-year-old man who'd had it since new and was only selling it because his 84-year-old wife found it so difficult to get in and out of, you know. It's only done 26,000 miles, and yet it cost £10,000. And £10,000, that's a round of drinks in the world where this sort of thing belongs. Oh, hello. James May in a Lancia Gamma Coupe. It's one of the prettiest cars ever made, but don't tell him I said that. Morning, May. How much?
£13,500.
Oh, so £3,500 more than I paid for this vastly superior Alfa Romeo.
Well, £13,500 is a bargain for a car that is coach-built and extremely rare and beautiful.
But it isn't exotic like this is.
What do you mean it's not exotic? That is a better-looking car.
What than this?
Yes!
It is superb.
It's not superb.
I tell you what's not superb. Richard Hammond arriving in a Fiat X19. How much?
£2,250.
Somebody saw you coming, Hammond.
What? For a baby Ferrari? 2,200...
Did you just call it a baby Ferrari?
He did.
Because it is mid-engined Italian. It's exactly what it is.
Well, listen to that sound.
I know.
That is the reassuring sound of tin on Russian steel.
It's a light, bright, effervescent sound, just like the car.
How many colours has this car been? It was black, then it was red, then it was white, then it was pale blue, and now it's purple.
I'd like to add, actually, it's not how many colours has this car been, how many cars has this been?
Well, quite. It's now going brown.
Brown, yeah.
All right, then, I'm not going to turn around and try and work out which Alfa you've bought.
The best
Oh,
Alfa.
it's a GTV6.
Exactly.
Yep. Why has it got this plastic bit in the middle of the bonnet?
Genius. The engine in this car had a small issue. It used to backfire, well, front fire actually, and blow the top off the engine, yeah? So that would damage the bonnet. So they put this plastic panel, which was easier to replace.
Why didn't they stop it backfiring?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
They were busy.
Lazy.
Yes, let's not get bogged down with some of the Alfa's minor design flaws.
Disasters.
Because all three of us have got classic cars.
I have, yes.
For good money.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Scotland, so why don't we take them on a drive in... Well, let's be honest, Scotland is just a road trip.
Well,
I agree.
we could, while we're here, we could do the NC 500. Which, I mean, that is it's
Voted by Condé Nast Traveller magazine, voted it the best road trip in the world last year.
Lochs, mountains, it's just...
All the pretty bits, yeah.
No, it's all the best bits of Scotland, right?
Yeah.
500 miles round the north coast of Scotland.
In Italian exotic
That
cars.
would be... Oh, hang on.
What?
Text. Yeah. Mr. Willman. Mr. Willman. It says, those cars will not do 500 yards, leave alone 500 miles. So I've provided 3 backup vehicles which you can use to get home when they go wrong and catch fire and explode. I was wondering what they were.
Funny.
How did he know we were going to do 500 miles?
That's a good point, actually, because Hammond's only just suggested it.
Eventually, we cleared the fishing port and found ourselves on the open road, where we could get down to the business of enjoying our pedigree Italian classics.
Go! Lancia mounted the power steering hub on the end of one of the camshafts. Basically, you can't really use full lock, especially when the engine's cold, otherwise the engine will explode. The thermostat was fitted in the wrong place, which leads to overheating very suddenly, and then the engine can explode. And there were some problems with the gasket materials, which causes the coolant to mix with the oil with engine exploding sort of results. Rubbish! Ah! Rubbish! My car is just so refined and sophisticated, and in fact really well looked after by its previous owner. It was obviously loved. One of my windscreen wipers just fell off.
Oh dear.
You can't get out.
We just lift it up. There you go. You just have to drive like that. James, can I just say you've done 3 miles?
It's mended for now.
Don't
turn it on again.
Just turn it on. I want to see what happens.
Right, OK. You ready?
In Scotland.
In Scotland, you won't need it. That's the thing.
Perfect.
Because it never rains. Meanwhile, in the GTV6... Oh, no, what's that? That third. Right, good. Third. Fourth. Good. Transaxle, gearbox at the back, twin plate clutch, discs all round, unusual at the time. One of the best engines ever made, 2.5 litre V6. Oh, God. However, despite all the weirdness, I do still absolutely love this thing. It was my ownership of a GTV6 that taught me what cars are all about. You need a personality, you need flaws for them to be human. And James May was right for the first time in his life, and only time in his life. This is one of the greatest engines ever made. the creamiest, the smoothest, and the most beautiful to listen to. That's not exhaust noise. That's an actual engine. As James and I enjoyed our classic thoroughbreds, Richard was driving along in his purple Fiat.
Unleash 80 horsepower. We're off. One slight complaint about the Fiat. The pedals are very, very small and very close together. And if you try and operate them with, let's say, your feet, you'll find that your feet are too big. Really, you just need to use a toe on each. Oh my God! Oh God! For God's sake. What a tip.
Soon, Hammond spotted a racetrack and suggested we have a go on it. And as we pulled up, it became clear that tiny pedals weren't his only problem. That's quite high revs.
Yeah, idle's quite high, yeah.
Is that its idle speed?
Yes, it's keen.
Since this was actually a go-kart track, it was too narrow for car racing. So I decided we should have a drifting competition.
It doesn't work. It simply doesn't really have the power to throw its tail out properly.
Even though my Alpha had twice the horsepower of the Fiat, things weren't great for me either. Just grip and more grip. I know Roger Moore drifted a GTV6 in Octopussy, but then he crashed into a fence and had to dress up as a clown.
In the Gamma, I was confident I'd succeed where my colleagues had failed. Right, here we go. Lancia is one of the greatest names in rallying history. So, control drift should be second nature to this. So approach that corner, heel and toe it, and... Brake, lift off. No. At this point, I suddenly remembered something important. This is front-wheel drive, isn't it? What was I thinking of? It's not going to drift. Happily, though, the enthralled local audience were able to find a solution. What I do is I take the rear wheels off, let the tyres down, and put these plastic covers on, then put the tyres back up again, put them back on. That gives the car the loose back end you want to drift. These are just, this is like putting insulating tape on the back wheels of your scale X-Tric cars. Stand by. With no help from anyone else on this freezing day, the drift covers were soon fitted.
Oh, here we go.
Oh! Right, turn in, get the drift going, and this entertainment went on for quite some time. Away! Rubbish.
To it.
Yes!
Yes, yes, yes. This looks like a lot of fun. We're going to do that. We're going to try it.
Oh, no, there's the only set.
What are those things?
Yeah, they're the only set, so we can't do it.
Well, no, we can make some.
Did you ask if you could borrow this bed?
No, but they won't need it. And rotate. This goes over. It'll require a little bit of persuasion.
James May just drifted perfectly behind you there.
This is another of those weird days.
With his tyre covers made, Hammond decided not to hold back.
Oh, this is going to be...
I mean, seriously, he's going to get to that corner and then... Where can the helicopter land?
Go! Give it everything you've got. Unleash the beast! Watch this. Oh my God. This is dangerous because of you. Let's just try again. No, that's fallen off. That could be interesting. And I am turning in, drifting. Oh no, I've got no steering.
Annoyingly, Hammond's dismal failure didn't stop him fitting his ridiculous contraptions to my precious Alpha. and insisting that I have a go. Think of the trouble Alfa Romeo went to make this car exquisite. Think of the trouble that Pirelli went to make the tyres grip properly. And then along comes Hammond with the bit. No. It is quite scary through here. Oh, dearie me. God, that looks tricky. Oh, good. Oh! Go, 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 go! What was that noise? Whole car's vibrating. Yeah, that's a massive vibration. Hammond, you blithering idiot! You totally ruined this car! An inspection of the undersides revealed some grim news. That has come off, so the prop shaft is now... Well, it's still joining the gearbox or the transaxle to the engine, but by a thread. And if I did anything more than rub it like that, it's going to come off. If I'm driving along, and that's the end of the Alpha.
Well, that's interesting. My car's working and I'd like a drink. The hotel is about 25 miles away, so I think I'll get on with it, if you don't mind.
You can't leave... No, you can't leave me now.
What do you mean I can't leave you now?
Well, it's... Have you seen how cold it is?
I can't see how cold it is, but
no, but I
feel
actually
it
just looked.
in the...
Drizzle 6 feels like 2.
Well, you know what would warm you up?
What?
A bicycle ride. It always does.
Go! Oh, God.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, my God. What a pig. Ugh. I hate you! Oh. 20 miles through this
freezing middle of nowhere.
Hey, Richard the Hamster Hammond. Is your car warm and dry? I'm just checking.
Yeah, I'm warm and dry. You warm and dry?
I'm very warm and dry. Oh, I meant to ask, would you like a long gin and tonic sitting at a bar stool?
Yes, yes, I would. And we've only got, well, it's not far, in a car.
Oh, God. Oh, come on! Rub it in! Seriously, rub it in!
We're going to need to rehearse it.
What?
Well, what we say when he's found... Look, so we're on Breakfast TV, you're on the sofa, yeah?
Oh, okay, okay.
Good morning. With me now is James May, that's how to speak, who has just learnt of the sad demise of his co-host and colleague, Mr. Jeremy Clarkson. James, how do you feel that his body was found in a ditch with a bicycle this morning?
Was it?
Yes.
No, that's not right, is it?
No.
Sorry, could you do that again?
James. This is radio, OK? Good morning, 9:05. James May is with us. We only learnt this morning of the sad demise of... Oh, bugger.
What?
All of that rehearsing, mate. Waste of time.
Ugh.
Because he's outside right now, fighting with the bicycle lock by a fence. Oh, you look cold.
It's cold. Oh, hell, why won't this work?
Paper boys can work one of those, mate.
Oh, Steve, I don't care.
He's left the key in it. What
Yes.
a muppet.
Come on. Hammond! 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 The next morning, the peaceful stillness was shattered by the cry of a distressed animal.
Clarkson! Clarkson! Where's my roof? Right. Bastard! What was that? What? Oh, you are joking. No. 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 He hasn't. He's not that sick.
Morning.
What?
Morning.
Yeah, whatever. Oh!
Why have you driven over your own roof?
Clarkson. He's sick. Enjoy your day on your bicycle, bastard. Well, I'm cold now, obviously. Borrowed a jacket from a cameraman. He's 6'3" and 18 stone. I'm in a small, stylish Italian sports car. Supposed to be looking good. I look like a frostbitten gnome.
Rotten trick, that. I wouldn't stand for it.
The only thing that worries me is he might get some exercise on his bicycle. Ha, ha, ha!
Do you think he's already just become one of those embittered cyclists who hates anybody who's got a car? Oh, jeez.
What? Oh, come on! No.
Oh, yes.
Neat move.
No! Whoops.
Oh, that's tidy.
Oh, good.
He did not mend that.
Very good. Now, I have to say, the only reason why we met on a beach full of oil rigs and then drove through a council estate full of hypodermic needles is to annoy, well, simply and only to annoy our Scottish producer.
Yes, but we will not tell you Gav's name, we promise.
No, we won't. We won't say his name. Anyway, look, it all gets a lot sunnier and prettier in part two when we finally get on the North Coast 500, and we'll pick that up later on. I want to talk about the BMW M5, which has always been, as I'm sure we all know in here, the ultimate Q car. It is a fizzing lunatic in a Geoffrey Chaucer suit. However, the new M5 has turbocharging, so it's kind to polar bears, and it has four-wheel drive, so it's safe, and it has an automatic gearbox, and that's all very nice. But is it what we want? Let me first of all explain the basic recipe for a BMW M5. It's a four-door saloon with a boot at the back, space for 5 businessmen in the middle, and a monstrously powerful engine at the front. That's the main thing about an M5. It must be extremely fast. On the face of it, then, the new version seems to tick all the important M5 boxes. It's sensible, and thanks to 592 horsepower, it is Ferrari fast. But what about the turbochargers and the automatic gearbox? And what about the all-wheel drive system? Does all that mean it's no longer capable of being a swivel-eyed lunatic? No, not really. If you want it to do this all the time, you can actually turn off the four-wheel drive system. Seriously, you can turn it off. Just have it in rear drive only. Behave like a complete yobbo. Yeah! And that's just the start of the M5's adaptability. You can choose how much traction control you'd like. You can choose how sporty and responsive you want the engine to be, how uncomfortable you'd like the ride to be, how meaty you'd like the steering to be, how quickly you want it to change gear, and what you want on the head-up display. You can even choose what sort of noise you want the exhausts to make. Oh, and look at this one. This menu allows me to choose what fragrance comes out of the air conditioning vents. I can have the Blue Suite, which is a waft of pure water pearls, or I can have this one, which gives me a golden shower of fiery aromas. And this is all very Pacific Rim. It's very CGI, and that's great. But the truth of the matter is that the 50-something businessman who'll buy this car will never change the fragrance setting or any of the other stuff. He'll put it in four-wheel drive comfort mode on day one and leave it there forever. And if he's going to do that, there may be a better alternative. It's made by a German tuning company called Alpina, and it's another take on what a fast BMW should be like. It actually produces 600 horsepower. That's more than you get from the M5. It has more torque too. And there's no nanny limiter. So this will do 205 miles an hour. Does this mean then that on a track the comfort wagon can keep up with the ultimate sports saloon?
No. This car was not developed to race. The boss of Alpina says if you engineer a car to be good at the Nürburgring, it won't be any good. But, and he may have a point on that. No! Oh no! Look at that for a tidy line. Oh, good. That will do. It actually produces 600 horsepower. That's more than you get from the M5. It has more torque too. And there's no nanny limiter. So this will do 205 miles an hour. Oh no! Drive carefully. Very quick. M5 is tauter, more nailed down, more on it somehow. So, on a track, make no mistake, the M5 will pull away. In fact, it is doing. We're both cats, it's just that he's a cheetah and I'm a lion. If then you care about shaving tenths of a second off your lap time at a racetrack, you're better off with an M5. But for going home on the M4 in the real world, which is what I'm about to do, I'd rather use the Alpina. So I shall.
Interesting observation. So after all of that, you would have the worst car?
Well, yes, because it's better.
It sounds better to me, I've got to say.
Oh, well, says the voice of speed.
Well, I tell you what, let's find out how fast the M5 goes round the Ebola-drome.
Flying onto the straight there. Wouldn't look, it's a bit down. bit of speed at the midpoint. Really hard on the brakes for Old Lady's House. This is where understeer will show itself, taking no prisoners on the blast substation. Torturing the Pirellis through there, just feel the sheet to go. Cross the line. It looks quick, but it looks like it's heavy. It looks heavy. Anyway, there's the lap board, and we can see the old M5 look down there, 17th place, 1 minute 24.2. So let's see where the new one goes. Is it quicker? Oh, it is. Yes. Oh, my word. 4 seconds faster.
That's staggering, isn't it?
That's absolutely amazing. Now, I have to say, we did time the Alpina, but we haven't filmed it.
Why not?
Well, because it's going to be slower.
You are going to look such an arse if it isn't.
Well, I am, but it won't be. Let's find out. Let's see where it goes. This is the Alpina. There you go. You see, slower, as I said. But 121.6, not bad. Not bad.
So if you do want a taut, fast, super saloon, his advice is get the flabbier, slower one.
Yeah, it's better.
It's really some clear buying advice again this week.
It is. Anyway, let's get on to some actual clear buying advice, shall we? Let's get back to our film in Scotland. Tonight, we are doing a tour of the North Coast 500 around the top of Scotland in some beautiful Italian classic cars and a Fiat X19.
Well, yes, but you two had both had mechanical issues.
Yes.
Yeah, we did, but we still had hope in our hearts that things would get better.
As we cruised along, our Italian classics and the Fiat continued to provide unexpected entertainment.
I'm going to show you a fantastic feature on this car. Here are the heating and ventilation controls. I've got it on warm because look what happens when I press the air conditioning button. It's haunted! Did you see that? Look. I think I'll cool myself down.
My head itches because of this hat. But if I take it off, I'll freeze to death.
Soon, Hammond insisted we stop for a cup of tea to ward off his hypothermia.
I've had a thought.
That's very uncharacteristic.
I was going to say, first time ever.
No, this is based on experience and knowledge. Right, problem with the NC 500, we all the way around here, we miss this bit. We're here, right, and we miss this road, which I have driven, and it is breathtaking. Not just the scenery, which is incredible, but the actual road itself.
I'm sorry, but if we just go along here...
Yeah?
We're not exactly doing the NC 500, are we?
No, but what if we create our own route and claim it for the Grand Tour? We could call that the Scottish Highlands Intermediate Tour. How far is it?
It's about 287 miles if we do that.
Scottish Highlands Intermediate Tour 287, 287.
It would be the... No, hang on, that doesn't work, does it?
Piloting extremely nicely in Scotland.
287.
Yeah.
The piloting extremely nicely in Scotland, 287. That would do. You see, that's your second thought of the day.
It's because of the hat.
With the new route sorted out, we set off. And it turned out that it wasn't quite like Hammond had said. It was much, much better.
Go away.
Where the hell do you think I'm going to go?
Again?
I love failure, I embrace it.
Score an 8. Right, we're all set.
my God! Oh, for God's sake!
Oh, yes! Oh, I shouldn't feel so good, but it does.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Yeah!
Shove it.
Holy moly.
Och, aye, the view. It's amazing. Look at it.
I mean, this is heaven.
In fact, the moment was so magical, it had taken my mind off something that had been troubling me all day.
Today is the 11th of April, and I don't want to sound like Eeyore, but it's my birthday. And those two haven't remembered. All of the crew have said happy birthday. The director said happy birthday. James and Richard, nothing. Ullapool, 26 miles. Ullapool, I might be able to get the prop shaft balanced there. That's quite a big town. Guys, how far are we from the hotel now, do you know?
About 30 miles, 35.
Well, as it's not late, I'm going to dive into Ullapool and see if I can get my prop shaft balanced.
You're going to what?
It's vibrating and it will hurt the car, so I want to just get it balanced up and I'll see you at the hotel later on.
That is uncharacteristically conscientious of Jeremy to want to go and mend his car, but it's actually very convenient for me and Hammond. We've got something in mind.
The thing is, we hadn't forgotten it was his birthday. And with him gone, we could shoot ahead and set up his surprise party.
Balloons coming in.
Oh, this is nice.
Right. Loosen it off, and that will allow the prop shaft to settle where it wants to settle.
While the short-sighted orangutan ruined his car, I was busy in the kitchen.
For Jeremy's birthday feast, I am preparing his favourite dish, spaghetti bolognese. But, as it's his birthday and as we are here, I'm going to give it a Scottish twist. Yes, I am doing that. I'd say that is ready. Oh, yeah. That will do nicely. And there it is. Spaghetti McBolognese.
Whilst Richard was battering and deep-frying everything in sight,
In you go, my wee beauties.
I was organising the guests, who are now all here and waiting for the birthday boy.
Oh, hello, here it is. Here it is. Oh. Countach. Lancia 832. There's obviously some kind of classic car meeting going on. Oh, wait a minute. Can't believe it. I cannot believe it. You remembered.
Of course we remembered. Actually, it's better than that. We're having a party for you.
No, but James... There's a classic car meet going on.
No, they're your guests. For your birthday party.
It's a 3.2 as well. Oh.
Still, it could be worse. And then it was, because it was time to sit down for Richard's Scottish dinner. Battered spag bowl, followed by a deep-fried cake. This is the worst birthday party I've ever had.
Come on, we made an effort. Anyway, shall I get the bagpipes?
The next morning, we were up and on the road, bright and early. This is the first April the 12th since 1972 that I haven't had a hangover. Thanks to the world's worst party organisers, Messrs. May and Hammond. Oh no, the vibration is back. Why can't I do anything? But, despite my problems, the sun was shining, and Scotland was more spectacular than ever. Yeah.
He's a muppet.
Yes, joyous.
Oh, yes. That was rubbish.
Oh, my God.
Oh, cool.
This will be good.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, what's this? Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Oh yeah, loving that.
It's quite scary through here. Yes. Oh, I dislike you intensely. Oh, I feel dirty.
don't like it.
Whoops. There are now only 50 miles to go to the finish point on our loop. So it felt like a good time to sum up our wonderful cars and Richard's Fiat.
Some cars achieve classic status because they're rare, they're thoroughbreds, like those two. And with that, you have to accept they'll be delicate, temperamental. Some cars achieve classic status simply because they're really good. The X19 was good when it was designed and built first, and still is today. Add to that it cost me just over £2,000.
Rare, interesting, beautiful. Those are the criteria by which I think you should judge whether or not a car is a true classic. It has to be at least two of those things to qualify. So let's have a look at my Lancia. Well, it's definitely beautiful. It's a truly superb bit of car styling, this, and it's rare.
Look at it. And tell me you can think of another car anywhere on Earth for 10 grand that you'd like more than this.
Bidding a fond farewell to Hammond's magnificent penis, we got back to the town where we'd started, Inverness.
Mission accomplished.
Well, there we are. In just 3 days, we have covered a staggering 287 miles.
Oh, well, yours was on an AA truck for a bit of it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But apart from one catastrophic failure that required somebody to drive from Swindon in Wiltshire all the way to Inverness with a spare part.
Don't forget that my windscreen wiper fell off as well.
Yeah, and one of my headlamps is stuck.
Yeah, but apart from those things, we have proved that it is still possible to buy and enjoy a classic car, even if you're quite poor.
Yeah, we should be proud of that.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
And with that, back to the studio. Tent.
Tent.
Tent. Because we're quite poor.
Yes.
Good.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny. Over the years, we have travelled the whole world looking for the best driving roads.
Yeah.
And it turns out it was just next door all along.
I have to say, I don't want to say this in front of our Scottish producer.
Do not name Gavin Whitehead.
No, I shan't, but that was just about the best drive I've ever had. That road, that scenery, that Alpha.
That party.
No, not the party, but everything else was, well, it was perfection.
I do agree with you. I thought it was spectacular, but we should get back to the point of this film, which is that you can buy an affordable classic car that is also an investment.
Are you sure you want to raise this particular point, James? Why don't you tell the ladies and gentlemen how it worked out with your Lancia?
Well, OK, I spent £13,500 on the car, and when I got it home, I discovered that the price of putting it right was only £6,000.
So your investment has gone down by 45%.
Correct. Yes.
Now, my Alpha, as I said in the film, I have brought it home with me. And since we made that, which was April, so 6 months, 9 months ago, it's only cost £8,000 in repairs.
So your investment has gone down by 80%.
Yes, what about you?
100%.
Really?
Yeah. Day after we finished filming, the engine blew, car in the bin, all gone.
So to conclude then, all of us have lost some money and one of us has lost all of it.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's right.
And on that terrible disappointment, it is time to end. I'm going home now, in my Alfa Romeo.
No, you're not.
You live over there.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, exactly. Too far.
Whatever. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye. Let's do this. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, welcome to what is a Grand Tour special in which we go on vacation.
Yeah, let me explain. The other day, we were wondering why some people who want to visit the western bit of America choose to do so on an RV touring holiday.
It is very popular. I mean, we all have friends who have done it, and they say they had a good time.
Sounds like caravanning to us, though, and you couldn't enjoy that unless you were mental. However, Mr. Willman says that since this is a motoring and travel and adventure show, he would rent us an RV, and then we could go over there to see if we could find out what the appeal is.
This was the location he chose. And this was the Winnebago Chieftain that he rented for us. And it was very terrible in every way.
Chaps, if you'd like to brace, I'm going to put my foot down and see what she'll do. Happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go.
Slowness put Hammond and me in a bad mood.
You're just helping yourself to car.
Well, that's the idea. Just got to find all the cars that go
I
together.
have to have a turn as well.
That'll take ages.
Don't make my holiday worse than it already is.
It is pretty bad in here, isn't it?
After just 5 miles, we'd had enough and pulled over for a cup of American coffee.
This whole experience wouldn't be so bad if we somehow could modify it so it's better to live in.
Well, and if we could have one each.
Well, why don't we do that?
Get one each?
Yeah, why don't we just get one each and then modify it to suit our particular requirements?
We don't have to have all of this. Offensive.
What do we want?
We therefore abandoned Mr. Willman's RV and went off to buy our own, which we'd then personalised to suit our individual holiday needs.
This is what I'd gone for. It's the Ford F550 National Tropical, and it's 36 feet long.
Why so massive?
I wanted to modify it in such a way that I brought a small taste of home with me. Can you guess what it is?
Brown furniture.
A tea cosy.
A rusty motorcycle.
No. Follow me. What?
Holy moly!
Whoa!
Yes, welcome to the Rack and Pinion. What will it be?
I'm in a pub.
I'm staggered.
It's got peanuts on the wall, terrible pictures.
Yes.
This is fabulous. Let's ask, why have you got a drawing of 3 stroke victims on the wall?
That's us. What?
Dartboard.
Yes, it's a pub.
James, it's my job to ridicule you, obviously. But I can't, because apart from the dartboard, you've done an incredible job.
Thank you.
But it isn't quite as incredible as the job I've done.
Whoa!
I've gone, as you can see, for a nautical theme.
In the desert.
Yes, bear with me. Two-tone paintwork, obviously. Jet ski on the back. And then, up on the top, and this really is the pièce de résistance, the flying bridge.
Right, boots are off. Whoa!
What?
Is this all bathroom?
Yes, obviously, with lavatory.
What?
Shower here, tiled, as you can see. Tasteful. Sink unit, vanity mirror, restrained. And just pop this open, like so.
Wow.
lower the flap, which means that in the morning I can sit down and I can see the pub. As we know, luxury is defined by light and space. So this is a luxurious bung.
The roof, however, was a different story.
Whoa! Oh, I say. Well, this is wasted space normally, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's pretty good, this, Hammond.
Right, Hammond.
Yes.
Where's yours?
Over there.
What, behind the lorry?
No, it is the lorry, that's it.
That's not an RV.
It is. Look, it's big. I can sleep on it, and it's got a bike on the back. That's a recreational vehicle right there.
This we have got to see, mate.
It's big, and it needs to move along, so a truck is the obvious answer. So
What
there's
sort of truck is it?
I don't know, truck.
These are the ones that used to be the U-Haul lorry. Oh!
You've still got the sign of the previous owner on it.
Doesn't matter. Come aboard, leave your shoes on, because this wood is very splintery. Here's the living accommodation.
What living accommodation?
There's a bed. There, bed. Telescope in case I get bored in the evening.
So just 2 secs. Stacks.
Yeah?
Engine?
It's got V8.
Whose?
Mine now, I bought the truck.
You have made no effort whatsoever.
Oh, no. Wasted time and effort on complicated stuff I don't need. This is honest.
So when you come to my... I say, please, Jeremy, can I borrow your lavatory in the morning? I'm going to say no, because you accuse me of wasting time.
And if you want to come to my pub for a drink of your gin, which I've put on tap especially for you, I'll say, no, it's just a waste of time, Hammond.
Oh, I didn't realise we were setting up a sort of stock exchange of resources needed by the roaming camper.
Hammond?
Yes?
Your lorry, I'm not going to call it an RV...
It isn't an RV.
...is dismal.
God's truth.
On that note, we set off to see what our RVs and Hammond's lorry were like on the road.
Go, go, go! Come on, come on, come on!
Typical of those suitors. More off being running.
Come on, this is it! Keep going!
I'm not sure I trust us, Teresa, doing this.
Soon, we arrived in a typical American town, which, of course, had a typical RV campsite.
This'll do. We're home.
So, we decided to check in for the night.
I was kept awake for some time last night by the man in the neighbouring RV scratching his eczema.
Ooh.
Or he might have been sanding a table.
Why don't we... You know those big Baja off-road 28-inch suspension travel things?
Dune racer type.
Dune racers?
Yeah.
Why don't we get 3 of those and belt around in the desert?
Yes.
Because that would be bovine, and I wouldn't learn anything from that. I'd rather go and do something cultural.
Blasting around the dunes sounds like fun.
Come on. I tell you what, you want to go and do Native American art.
Mm-hmm.
We want to go dune racing, yes?
Right.
Let's have a vote.
I would be driving this. A Jake's Fabworks JF5U. James would be driving this. An Illumi Craft Class 10. And Hammond would have this. A plastic green pickup truck.
Okay.
My 2013 Curry, underneath this plastic pickup body, has the same tubular space frame chassis as the other two, but I've only got a 2-litre engine. However, it's a Ford EcoBoost, so it's turbocharged. And they've tuned it so it's putting out just shy, landing, of 300 brake horsepower.
We're off. Gotta keep the pressure on. Road safety is what this show's about. Oh, for God's sake. Come on, come on, come on. This bit is...
And now I'm going to fly again. Ah! This is bliss.
Come on, let's have some air here. Yeah! What a riot! How can James May not enjoy this? As it happened, he was starting to enjoy it.
And whee! Get it sideways a bit. Ooh. Go! I'm going to do one more.
After Billy Bob May had had his fun, we all stopped for a breather.
Yes. I don't like admitting you're right, but I can be magnanimous. It's brilliant.
You've wasted your life with Chopin and plywood. You're a dune racer. You've always been a dune racer, you just didn't know you were.
It's fantastic, and it's comfortable. That's the thing. It's comfortable motorsport because of the suspension. It's brilliant.
It's cheapskate motorsport.
Is it?
Yes, it's cheapskate motorsport for people with dicky backs. That's what it is.
Because landing is so
Oh,
soft.
sometimes I'm thinking, have I landed?
Yes.
I've got a brilliant idea. What are you looking at?
What?
There's something glinting up there.
There isn't.
Yeah,
Well, it's just...
Anyway, what's your brilliant
Anyway, I've
idea?
got a brilliant idea.
What?
Time trial, flying lap, one at a time against the clock. I'll go first.
You must have put that right.
Where's my
He
car?
really has taken to it,
He
hasn't he?
really has. Having jumped back in, Billy Bob embarked on his flying lap. Here he comes.
I'm winning.
so good, buddy. Down easy.
Well, we don't know whether that's fast or not, but it is less than a minute. Is that the first time he's done anything in less than a minute?
He can't open a car door in less than...
No, he can't. Or sign his name.
No, that's 2 minutes. Definitely.
Biggles is back.
I can do a slightly better one than that. Can I have another go?
Next, it was my turn. I just want to say, Hammond,
What?
you have twice as much horsepower as me, and May, you have 50 horsepower more than I've got. So it's only my immense skill that's going to put me in contention here.
Is it?
No, well, what else is there?
This sounds like
You won't have any excuses ready for the end of this race.
Yours weighs less. It's 200 kilograms lighter than this. I'm just saying, in case I'm not as quick.
Eventually, Mr. Racing Excuses was underway.
Here he comes into his flying lap.
Savage acceleration. And there we are. I don't know how I've done, but it felt pretty good to me.
There are few things in life I enjoy more than delivering bad news to Jeremy Clarkson. It's possibly my favourite thing.
Forcing myself not to do a little dance.
How much faster was I?
Well, unless your seconds were smaller, you were slower, because you were 58.5.
What was he?
57.81. What that means is, he beat you.
I cannot believe that. Has anybody got a gun?
Finally, it was the turn of Ricky Redneck.
Right, ready with the stopwatch.
Let's go!
Watch this.
It's terrifying. This is dangerous because...
Into the left-hander. Keep it tight. Oh, what was that? What the hell was that? That was...
What's the matter with him?
Has he bust the gearbox? What? Not very quick.
What was the matter?
That was the weirdest thing.
What?
It's like a ricochet.
As I wasn't interested in Hammond's excuses, we got back into our RVs and hit the road.
Ping! It's like a ricochet, like it come off something. I suppose it could have been stone.
No.
Okay.
Soon it was time to find a campsite. And since we didn't fancy another night in a horrible RV park, and we had all the comforts we needed, we decided to freestyle it in the wilderness.
I think it's an excellent idea. I mean, dune buggy racing is fantastic, and I won, but it is quite hot and sweaty and dusty, and we can balance that with peace and quiet and a starry sky. I mean, that's going to be fantastic out here. I might write a few lines of verse.
The next morning, the vista from my RV was
Are you
Am I what?
having a dump?
Yes.
Oh, the whole point of sitting here is to enjoy this magnificent view.
I was here first. You're spoiling my view.
I'm spoiling your view?
Yes.
I'm not crapping in it.
We then headed over to the pub for breakfast. However,
Why haven't you made us any breakfast?
Because breakfast is reserved exclusively for my friends, and none of them are here.
You've seriously not made us anything?
Yes, seriously, I have not made you anything.
I'm hungry.
Well, let's not get bogged down with his unbelievable selfishness.
It really is, though.
Let's work out what we're going to do today.
Dune buggy racing.
Well, you've already done that.
We've all done that. I thought we could go to a racetrack.
No, not a racetrack.
Why not a racetrack?
I don't like racetracks.
You
They're
like
dull.
dune buggies?
Yeah, but that's because that's dune buggies. Normal racetracks are just
Oh,
boring.
come on, that'd be great fun.
OK, we'll settle it. Let's have a vote.
Once we'd climbed aboard our race-modified RVs, we were ready for the off.
This is a stupid idea. I disapprove. It's needlessly destructive, and I really like my little truck.
Here's my start line strategy. Light goes green, hard right, hit James. I want him to be a bonnet emblem by the time I get to the first corner.
He doesn't realise that the window's fallen out of his RV and I can hear everything he's saying.
Let's get this over with, shall we?
Go! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Oh. Bloody racket!
Okay, I've changed my mind. This is really good fun.
I'm in a sandwich of Americans.
It was at this point I noticed something about one of those Americans.
Wait a minute. It's that guy. He's the one that's been following us. What's he doing?
Following hit after brutal hit, my opponent eventually conked out. But the battle had left me badly wounded.
Oh, this does not bode well for my little truck. I think my engine might be suffering. Ah! Oh, wall! Oh, that's gone badly wrong for me. I think I've lost the wheel now. I'm in a bad way. I've lost steering. Ah!
Hammond is history.
Now only 3 of us remained.
Come on. Hit James. Ramming speed.
You
Me's in the wall. He's in the wall and toast. It's just me and this weird man. I'll get you, you. Go.
Oh, God.
Oh, yes. Shut up. Say hello to my little friend. You've got to love that. It's rubbish and lethal. That's all.
crashing. Oh. Oh no. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. You're a moron. You clod-hopping old imbecile. Going in hard and hot! Yeah! Oh yes! The mighty RV boat is victorious. Nothing else running. Oh yeah.
Well done. It's a glorious victory, really.
It is. And I think we've proved that if you must have an RV, it has to be a Chevrolet Pace Arrow.
Yes,
Yep,
yes,
it does.
yes. Good. Congratulations. Very well done. Meanwhile,
What?
well, we've got to make camp for tonight in these. So I would suggest just over there.
I think that's an excellent
That's
idea,
all
as
they'll
close
manage.
as possible.
Yes.
You can come to your pub.
Well, you're not expecting a drink, are you?
Why not?
Pub's been demolished.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, of course
Does
it went to a wall.
Yeah, happens a lot these days.
Ooh, I
What?
nearly forgot. You know that guy that's been following us around since we got here?
No,
He's the one in the race overalls.
no,
You've still not seen him?
never seen him.
Well, you have, because he was driving that.
Was he?
Yes, I put him on. He's dead now.
Good, good.
And now he won't be following us anymore
Well,
because I've
good.
rolled
Well,
him
you
over.
can tell us all about it over a glass of water this evening.
With our race with the devil over, we fell asleep quickly that night, happy in the knowledge that the horror of our RV holiday was finally over.